Okay, so I'm a little late to this party, especially considering more mainstream Yugi-tubers are even now starting to review the anime, like Mega Capital G and Glasgow Yu-Gi-Oh! Hey! I'm on to you guys. I know you're trying to steal my thunder. Better not, guys who don't know I exist. But anyways, before we get into the episode, one little thing of housekeeping. So, obviously, they've now changed the air date of Yu-Gi-Oh! To Wednesday, which I think is a smart decision, because currently, there's really nothing on Wednesday, anime-wise, to really cause it any problem getting started. I think, the only thing I'm watching on Wednesdays is Sakura Quest, which I'm even, a few episodes behind on. So, that's neat. Especially because there's a lot of stuff on the weekend this season. But anyways, this does create a bit of a problem for me because Wednesdays are kind of a wacky day for me. I won't get into it, but it's going to be hard to sort of find time, at least for a little while. I will try to get these out within, hopefully, hours of the episode airing, because that's kind of the most fun to do it. But for now, again, we're just going to continue with everything as is. Just a bit of a warning if I'm a little late. Don't worry, I'm gonna do it. So let's get into the episode, because holy shit, this is how you start. This was great, especially because it has two big problems, and they're kind of really big problems. But we'll get to them, and I think they're problems that'll be resolved soon enough. But so first up, the way the show opens, genius. Just pure genius. It throws you into everything immediately. Setup can be nice, but come on, what do we really need to set up at this point? Either you know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, and you know enough of it to know that this is cool because it's different, or you don't know Yu-Gi-Oh!, in which case you've just been thrown into the insanity of it. And I think that really works here, because it also sets up how different this series is from the rest. The other series has a lot of fantasy magic in it. As of right now, it looks like this one is all sci-fi. And I loved that. Especially because I love it when an anime can just throw you in everything, but at the same time, it gives you everything you need to know. This is sci-fi, it's technology, it's computer type thing. And then we see Cyverse is some sort of world or dimension within the computers, and we meet Ignis. I'm not gonna lie, everyone's talking about how Yusaku isn't an a-hole like we were afraid he was gonna be. Ignis stole the show for me. I love the animation on this guy. There's no detail to him. He's just some sort of weird computer-looking thing. But there was such a nice sense of life and vibrance to the way he talked and the way he acted. It makes you wonder, maybe is he a good guy trying to protect Cyverse? Maybe he's got his own crazy agenda. Who knows? I thought the character was really interesting, and I liked the idea that he did do something progressive, and they just flat out told you this is this guy, and he took the Cyverse and took away, and he's been running from the internet for 5 years or something. And we meet Revolver 2, the Knights of Hanoi. Oh, this is how you present us with a villain. I loved the fact Revolver's design is really cool. There's something very robotic and inhuman about it. I have a feeling he's going to be our main rival, and we will see his human form at some point, assuming it hasn't. Again, I've avoided as many spoilers as I can. But again, they did a good job of showing that these guys are threatening. The show begins, and they just start wrecking shit. They just start blowing the place up, attacking Cyverse, but what are the stakes in the real world? Well, we get there because at the end of the episode, when they do their firewall scan or whatever the heck they did, it had real world damage. You saw as the city, the monitors showing it began overloading and exploding and hitting people. Okay, we didn't see it hurt anybody, but the implication is now there. Without having to do a lot, without having to go too extreme, they did a perfect job of showing you why these guys are dangerous and what they can do. We saw that they are merciless. They don't care about destruction, they don't care who they have to hurt, and they have the means to do it. Immediately, I feel way more attached to these villains off the bat than I do a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even just shonen-y type villains who, again, aren't allowed to get super dark and super violent for mass marketing reasons. Moving on from there, we get our characters, or a couple characters. We get Yusaku. A lot of people are really getting into this guy, and you know what? I am too. That introduction scene was genius. Purely well done. The Playmaker stuff, take it or leave it, I don't really care. But the scene with him and the kid, I don't know if this guy's going to be recurring or not. I kind of hope he is. It's such an ingenious little scene because it doesn't do anything over the top. It's nothing about it is off-putting like with Yuma, where it's the goofy middle school stuff, and I think that's what really turned people off that character. But it does give you his personality, which they lacked with Yuya. I like how sort of robotic he is when he talks, how very sort of computeristic he is. Again, it's not just he's antisocial because he's a jerk, he's antisocial because he's a weirdo. And I like the way it's sort of analytical and the way he kind of goes about it. Like it's, oh, these are your 3 flaws, and I got this just from this 5-second conversation, and these are your 3 good points. It's not positive, nor is it negative. It shows that he is a good guy, but he has to grow, and he has to learn. I hope this guy is part of that learning journey, but we'll have to wait and see. So I thought it was a really cool way to introduce him. And the other character, I don't remember his name, Hot Dog Guy, we'll call him that for now. I liked this guy. Okay, he was in 2 minutes of it, and he's part of the problem. But if this is done right, I think I like the idea that we might get a brotherly type relationship between the two, maybe father-son. I think it's really cool that they're this hacker team. Up till now, every Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist has started out as this simple, straightforward guy, which is fine. But I like the fact that they just jumped right into a brand new idea. These two they're vigilantes, or some people are even throwing around the term techno-terrorist. That's a little too extreme. But I like this idea that he's a man on a mission. Well, they're both men on a mission. They're doing something about it, and you see them get proactive almost immediately. There's no sitting around and wasting time. It's, we got shit to do. Okay, there is some wasting time. Again, we'll get to that. The last positive note I want to put up is I like the idea that there's some corporate espionage in this and some techno-terrorism. Like the scene where the guy, I think he's a butler to somebody, talks to a giant chess piece. It looks a little silly, but I like the idea that they're talking about it from a business perspective. If Cyverse gets out, this is a problem for us, so we need to deal with it now. Then on the other hand, you have the Knights of Hanoi, who very clearly want to hurt people and cause destruction, so they want Cyverse as well. But their means to get it is not to sort of be quiet about it. They're like, nah, we'll just do it. We don't care who gets hurt. Such a great way to present both of your bad guys, but at the same time showing the contrast between the two. One is more in it for selfish reasons. One, we don't know the reasons, but we know he'll do whatever it takes. So I thought that was really neat. Also, I am sort of glad that Aoi, or Blue Angel, or whatever you want to call her, and the other guy aren't friends with Yusaku right off the bat. Like, if he's going to be antisocial, I like the idea that we will see him build bonds and relationships with just friend-type people. I mean, Aoi, I assume, is part of the plot, especially because he saves her at the end there, but I like it, and I think it's a very neat way to do it. As for the problems, because there's a couple issues here, and like I said, they're kind of big deals. First up, the exposition. Oh god. Okay, so I know a lot of bad anime stereotypes is the talking, because of anime's limited budget range. But this was holy shit. And I think part of the problem is because there is no setup, but there's a lot going on that needs to be presented to us, the audience. They don't have a lot of time to do it. So what they did is they very clearly put the cool stuff up first, wanted it to end at a certain point, and then filled the rest with exposition. All the dialogue that I didn't just mention, or all the monologuing, was very bad. Like when the guy shows up at first and he's showing off his dual disc and explaining how the Cyverse works, or sort of, or that you can at least access Cyverse, or the Link Vrains, or whatever. It was fine, because he's trying to show off to seem cool, but then it's like, then you meet the butler guy, and we have another 1.5 minutes of exposition. Then we see Revolver, another 1.5 minutes of exposition, and the Revolver one was painful, because it was stuff we already figured out from the first 1.5 minutes of the show. So that was annoying. The really bad one was, Yusaku and Hot Dog Guy, and like, the Hot Dog Guy doesn't get an introduction. It's literally he just starts spouting exposition about a data storm or whatever, And the Yusaku going like, we'll save your brother and my past and whatever. It's like, no, present all that later. And then we get the other problem in this, which is I don't understand what Link Vrains is. And if at some point they put up an article in a magazine or something about it, please don't tell me, because it's the show's job to present that, not outside sources. We need to learn what Link Vrains is, and the thing is that so much of what will be the show will demand it, but honestly, the minute Yusaku got into Playmaker mode, the whole thing lost me, because I just had no clue what was happening, and it's like, if you're going to waste so much time on exposition, explain things we need to know. Don't give us stuff that we could be told on a later date, or at least better. Again, like, the scene where the hot dog cart turns into, like, a mobile fortress was cool, I guess. But then it's like Yusaku goes to enter Link Vrains. What does that mean? Does he physically go there? Are all those people who we saw get burnt to a crisp, are they dead, or do they go home? Is it like SAO, where you've got a helmet on your head and it just beams the game into you? Do they physically get digitized and sent to another world like Code Lyoko? Or is it just on their phone? Like, what's happening here? Because as far as I can tell, it looked like Yusaku just entered this room, and for all I know, he just took out his dual disc or whatever lets him access Link Vrains, and for all I know is right now on the shitter just pooping. Like, that could literally be happening right now, and I like to know when my characters are releasing excrement. That is important to me. But all joking aside, though, it's just one of those things where it's like, if we're going to waste all this time on talking, that's what we need to know. Especially because that means that we need to now dedicate even more time in another episode to exposition, when we already had a lot of exposition. Again, I don't think these problems will persist throughout the series, but it's a big deal. Like, you can't just too much explanation. But again, maybe I'm holding it up to too much of a standard. I really did enjoy this. I don't care that there was no duel. Okay, I kind of care. But I didn't need a duel because it presented the story, it presented the characters, it presented what's going on, and I like that. And overall, I'd say episode 1 of Yugioh Vrains is very good. I think this is going to be a great series. I'm so glad this one is getting more attention, especially with the all-star pedigree of people working on it. I really hope that gets it in a good spot and makes it in a good place. But what did you think? In the comments section below, give me your thoughts on Vrains episode 1. And now it's time for the return of the TCG question of the week, and that I've just forgotten the past couple weeks. This week's TCG question is, I don't know if any of you heard, but Maximum Crisis had a bit of a issue. So it has turned out that they have short printed every secret rare by a very huge margin, and the only secret rares people are getting, some people are reporting no secret rares, is they're getting Zark and Ultra Poly, neither of which are particularly meta cards, one of which can't even be used in a deck for another month. I actually like Ultra Poly, it's a fun card, but this is an issue, and what do you think it means? Do you think maybe there was just a screw-up in the printing? I opened my box, I only got 2 Ultras, so I don't know what's going on. If you have any thoughts, leave that below, and as always, click to like and click to subscribe as we continue on to our new Yu-Gi-Oh! Journey.